I think people just fall off and they just think, all right, in January, I'll be back.
Come back first week of January, they hop in way too hot.
Get injured.
And then before you know it, they've got, aches and pains.
I definitely struggle with seasonal, not depression, but like seasonal, just like...
Seasonal
like,
affective disorder.
Yeah, it's just I'm a little less.
All right, welcome back, everyone. We're back with the topic of today is holiday slumps. So Taylor, you've mentioned in the past that around holiday season, people start to just calm down and just not work out completely. So let's start there. As a gym owner, what have you seen that are the trends around this time of year?
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy that every year, right, in America, I think it's throughout the world, but I think especially for some reason, I feel like in America, right, there's this thing with Thanksgiving, right? When Thanksgiving rolls around, from that point till probably like middle of January or right around January 1st, because if you're a New Year's resolutions person, you just completely fall off. Whatever you're doing, whatever amazing, healthful, fitness thing that you were doing, I think people just fall off and they just think, all right, in January, I'll be back. And what happens? You don't come back. Or you try and you fall off in January and you start off again in springtime, getting ready for summer, right? It's this whole cycle that I think the general average person kind of goes through annually, and I've seen it over and over and a countless number of times with I think really everyone to some extent, and then for many, you don't even see them again around Thanksgiving, right?
Or you have the people who are non-existent during the holiday season. They come back first week of January, ready to go. They hop in way too fast, way too hot.
Get injured.
Thinking that they are still at the same fitness level that they were 6 to 8 weeks ago. And then before you know it, they've got, aches and pains, something popped, something hurts. And then, again, you don't see them until spring, or we see them over on the other side.
Yeah, it's like a human condition. It's like I think it just comes with being human, is that we have a tendency to, I think, kind of get caught up on whatever the thing is during that season or during that time, and then we think that we will always come back to it. I think it happens with just everything. It could be having to work, life, just maybe I have this thing with my kids growing up. They're all older now. I never took them to Disney World. It's because I always said, hey, next time, real bad. Next time, next year. I think about the lines, I think about the crowds and the craziness, and I just kept delaying it. What happens? Before you know it, you never end up going. You always say, and it's the same thing. I think you apply that to work, you apply that to life, you apply it to fitness and health, and I think it's a human condition that we deal with, and businesses make a lot of money based on that human condition, and I just you don't want to prey on it, but it's part of having a business in America, especially fitness and health related, that you have to take care of people during New Year's time. And so I know that we're gearing up for it. We're going to launch a Maven project the first week of January, and I'm pretty sure that will probably be one of our bigger groups.
Yeah, usually the beginning of the year is our big group.
Yeah, because everybody's just waiting for that, Yeah.
So I wanted to touch on a few of the reasons why people fall off this time of year. That includes social obligations, travel, food abundance. I'll start fresh in January thinking stress and less sleep, and then as well as weather, and it gets dark earlier. So if you guys wanted to expand on any one of those topics that you've seen in your life where it's man, it's kind of hard to, stay locked in during this time of year. If you guys can share your own story on that.
Right. I've been talking too much.
Yeah, I think with yeah, you can talk a little bit. No, I think with the holiday season coming up, starting with Thanksgiving, everyone's start hunkering down. Okay, I got to start grocery shopping, or I got to start packing for if I'm traveling to see family during the holiday season, or work events, work parties, that start coming up, and people stay out later. They might have a few drinks during the weekdays when they might not have beforehand. And I think it all just kind of starts snowballing, and that just kind of that's almost your holiday routine for the next 6 weeks until New Year's, and then you realize, I really haven't been going to the gym as consistently, or maybe not even at all for the last month or so. And again, I think it's just kind of easy to get wrapped up into because you want to make sure that you're spending time with family during the holiday season, and you don't want to neglect them and whatnot. But at the same time, like you shouldn't be neglecting your own health, right? So I think it really comes down to, like we talked about this before on different topics, but prioritization. Like, you can still get in, a quick workout and still go food shopping or still start cooking or, find a quick, workout to do at home. It only really takes like 20 minutes, 25 minutes tops to get something in, so that way you're able to kind of stay consistent during the holiday season. It doesn't have to be this huge, long, extensive 2-hour long workout. It could just be something quick, simple, get it done, and then you move on with the rest of your day.
Yeah, for me, like I'm gonna tie it into the weather and dark earlier, like all that. Like that for me, being that, we're a Maven podcast and we're trying to be very open about what, I definitely struggle with seasonal, not depression, but like seasonal, just like
Seasonal
like
affective disorder.
yeah, it's just I'm a little less, like going home about, health and fitness. And so I think this year, because my this past couple months have been pretty difficult for me personally, I think I'm going to make sure that I'm being very preventative about this winter and this holiday season where I'm usually a Grinch. Is that I have signed up for a couple of high roxes during the colder months, and I know that that's going to keep me a lot more accountable. It's going to keep me motivated. It's going to get me to some of the warmer climates for the competitions. And then I'm also bringing in my younger one to race with as she's going to be going off to college in June. And so she's trying to also get some nature in and some racing in. So I'm doing that for multiple reasons, but one of the main reasons is that I know that I struggle with seasonal depression every year. And so I think this is going to help me stay very sharp, and then by springtime and DC and all that and High Rocks again in the warmer weather, that'd be even more ready and prepared. And so I think it's important to have some of those things in place. I know that we all think that we're all strong and tough and whatever, and I'm definitely guilty of constantly thinking that I'm tougher than I really am. And what happens is I succumb to some of those things like seasonal depression. And so I try to tough it out all by myself with just my Maven workouts, 5-6 days a week. And so I think it's going to help me a lot this season.
Yeah, I think it's always good to have something to kind of like look forward to and train, so it doesn't feel like you're just kind of like spinning your wheels day in, day out, and not really having like an end goal in mind, even if it's multiple end goals. Whereas you're doing Anaheim coming up in next month, then you have Vegas coming up in February, DC quick turnaround, probably like only a week or two.
Mid-March?
Wow.
Yeah, probably the first week of March, and then
NYC.
New York City. So.
And then my goal, Korea next year.
Seoul?
Seoul or Incheon for a week.
What month is
I have
that?
one member who says he'll 100% do it with me.
Nice.
Eric.
Eric.
And Sung, maybe. Yeah, Eric, close
Yeah.
to Flowers. Yeah. Eric said he's going to probably stay a little longer, but I can't do more than a week. So it'll be a quick trip. Hopefully the time is, so the time zone, all that jet lag won't affect me as much. But I'm really excited. We gotta have goals. I gotta have. Finally, I gotta make Korea happen. It's been too many decades.
So basically, set commitments
Yeah.
to hold yourself accountable.
Yeah,
That's
and for me,
basically
it's been High Rocks. I've really been enjoying it. I really enjoy the judging thing that we did at High Rocks, and so I want to kind of ride that wave, and we'll see where it takes for now. But I haven't been this excited about anything really fitness or exercise or that kind of related for a long time. I would say that High Rocks has been the big thing for me, that where I see a lot of potential in it. I love the fact that it's really parallels with what Maven has been and will continue to be. And I think High Rocks has a lot more growing to do anyway, so I think it's not going anywhere. So, I want to make sure that we take advantage of it.
What are 2 to 3 things that people should keep doing even when life gets messy during this time of year?
2 things, huh?
2 to 3 things.
I think first thing is find something that you're going to be able to be consistent with. Again, like I said earlier, it doesn't have to be a super long 2-hour commitment at the gym where you're kind of hitting like a ton of things all at once. Keep it short, keep it simple, minimize the equipment that you're using, and make it so that you're not having to come up with excuses of why you can't work out, right? So if it's something where, I have to travel, I have to go to the gym 30, 45 minutes away, do something at home, whether that's body weight workout or, bundle up and go for a jog if it's cold. minimize your excuses so that you can stay consistent. And your consistency might change during the holiday season. You might not be training 4 or 5 days a week. You might not be able to get 2-3 days a week, but that's going to be better than 1 to none at all, right? And I think another thing is that you might have to maybe ramp down your intensity a little bit. If you're not training consistently, or you're kind of doing shorter workouts, you might not be able to go as hard as that you were before when you were kind of training more consistently. And that's okay. Like just doing a little bit of something during the holiday season, consistently week to week is going to be much better than just kind of doing nothing at all or being super inconsistent where you're only doing once a week or once every other week, and then trying to jump back into it, come January 1st.
Yeah, I'm like thinking about like what is a thing, whether it be an action or something that you do that like leads to everything else kind of falling apart. And I'm gonna say it's food. And so I think that if you start falling off on that during your messy periods, whether like you're going through some tough times, you're not eating well, or you're eating junk, or you're not eating enough. I just feel like that's something that I think you want to be really focused on, is that at the least, get 2 or 3 meals in a day, right? Making sure that you try to eat, try to pick healthier options, not eating late, or just like skipping on meals because you got like I just think that alone could really help you kind of hold on to a couple of those strings that could allow you to come back a little faster. But I think when the food falls off and then you got the exercise that kind of follows and activity that follows, then I think it's really hard, even though you have all the intent to want to come back, I think it's really hard to come back.
And I think that's the biggest thing for especially parents during the holiday season, where they might have not only their own things going on with like events and social gatherings, but then you add on all the kids stuff going on. Maybe they have like, still like sporting events going on, or plays, holiday parties for the kids. And before you know it, your wife or your husband, they haven't eaten anything all day, or they've had like, a quick like, energy bar that they picked up at the gas station or something. So I think, especially for parents, like when you are going from training consistently, eating consistently, to just kind of living on the go, I think that makes it super hard to come back after the holiday season.
Yeah, even like sleep too. It's like I think with all the parties and just all the things that are going on, I feel like we all kind of get really erratic with our sleep. I think just like those are the things, those little things that like we don't really pay attention to, I think could definitely affect us in a way that it just drags us down and holds us down. And so it's tough. This holiday season, there's so much emphasis on just spending, eating, and drinking and partying that I think it's just really, really difficult to stay not only the course, but to come back from that. It's a pretty...
And I think we should also kind of mention the opposite end of the spectrum, where you have your crazies who are super hardcore, regimented, and feel like maybe they can't enjoy the holiday season. And at the end of the day, one day here and there is not going to derail your progress. It's not to set you off, backtracking or anything like that. Like when it comes to holiday season, should you be like indulging day in, day out for like, weeks on end? No. But should you enjoy the time with your family, enjoy the food on, Thanksgiving, on Christmas, on, New Year's? Yeah, like you got to make sure that you're finding that balance in your life and you're able to enjoy the company that you're with and enjoy, your time with, the family and the gathering. But I think that's the other end of the spectrum. I think probably isn't talked about enough is, the people that are just so, OCD about what they're eating, and they feel like if they,
training schedule.
Yeah, they feel like if they just deviate for one day, they're going to be set back for like a month, and that's not how it works.
It's hard to find balance. I think that's what it is.
Well, the balance, that word is just like very relative and tricky to kind of define, but I think, it is the other side of the spectrum too, is that I think you could almost have a condition when you're so like regimented and habitual with your health that, deviating from it, you feel like you're completely falling off, or you're going to gain 10 pounds and overnight and that kind of stuff. But
Yeah,
it's just
like
not
don't
the
be
way
that
it
person
works.
that brings their little Tupperware of like salad and rice cakes to Thanksgiving. Like just enjoy the food, enjoy the people you're with, and you get back on track the very next day, you're going to be completely fine.
Because that's what holidays is about. It's not about
Overeating, overindulging for one day, and then regretting it the next day on the toilet.
Yeah, it's about enjoying the company of those you love and care about, and you want to spend time with, and really appreciating each other, right? So not really about everything else that we try to make holidays about, right? So, that's a good topic.
Ready?
Garmin, Boop, all that stuff.
Ready?
Yeah.
No, not everyone claps. I only need one clap to sing all the things.
What? He was like ready. Sounds like
What are you talking about?
Well, because I wanted to stop talking. All right, ready and sing.
All right.
It's like loud and
Okay.
Nice.